So, Chris, what did you think about last night's debate between the president and Joe Biden?
I thought it was a great. I thought it was a great debate. The Great White Hope made Biden look like a. I mean, he just bullied him the whole time, which was awesome. Uh, he like talked over him and just didn't let him get a word in edgewise. And I think that was a strong thing to do, because the thing about the debates is, you can sit there and watch the whole debate, but realistically, the real lasting moments are just that. It's the moments, the little sound bites that everybody's going to watch today and the rest of the week. And Joe Biden has no sound bites. The only sound bite he has is saying Antifa is an idea, or something like that. And Trump.
What do you mean by this idea? So they are not really happening? They're not burning up and destroying and robbing and stealing and all that?
Yeah, that
Idea mean that it's something going to become later, or it's not happening now?
meaning like the people there's not actually people out there doing anything. It's just people are just Antifa in their minds. Like, oh, I'm anti-fascist just in my mind.
It's
And
amazing the politicians
it's
just
just
say
silly.
anything, especially the Democrats.
yeah, it's just silly. So Trump looked really strong, made Biden look, pretty weak. Like he couldn't get a word in edgewise. So
So you believe the Great White Hope won?
I do.
Okay. And Joel, what do you think?
Well, a lot was said during the debates. That was a lot of new information to me. So a lot of stuff I literally had to let go one ear and out the other. So I can only take what I've seen so far at face value. And I will say is that, for one, well, Trump definitely has more energy and energetic, and you can see he's more lively. And, you could tell where the age barrier goes that, Trump is definitely more energetic. I will say, though, that what I notice of Biden is he does know he has a good skill set of engaging with the people, with the audience, to where, like, he makes you believe that he's, for you and all that stuff by, he's looking into the camera. He knows how to give those, like, feel-good type, quick little rants to where, like, you feel like he's talking to you. So I did see that he does have that in his benefit. But for the most part, you definitely see how Trump is just real and genuine, and he's not really trying to, entice you with a poem type speech. He's just kind of just giving you what he believes. So it was interesting to watch, but I don't really have an opinion yet. I think I need to watch a couple more to really catch on to what was being said.
So right now you don't know who won or lost?
Not really, but not really.
Oh, okay. Is that guy Chris Wallace, is he a liberal or something? Is he a Democrat?
I don't know his affiliation. He's on Fox, and I don't think he's. You know how Donna Brazile is on Fox, and she's
A commentator.
yeah, she's a commentator, but
But this guy has a show on Fox, I think.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's on Fox as a Democrat. I think he's supposed to be some sort of conservative, like moderator or something. But I mean, it was 2 versus 1 the whole night. Just
Yeah, it was that
softballs to
guy and
Biden.
Joe Biden against the president.
Absolutely.
James is telling me that the hate report is telling me that guy, the moderator, what's his name, Chris Wallace,
Yeah.
is a Democrat according to Wikipedia.
Oh, okay.
And I was a little surprised at how easy he was with Joe Biden.
You're right.
And he was really on Trump. It's like it was the two of them against Trump.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was surprised by it. I didn't know he was a Democrat.
I didn't know that either. Just because he has the show on Fox. I don't watch his show or anything, but
Well, I don't think all the hosts on Fox are Republicans.
yeah,
I think
there's-
some of them are Democrats anyway, or liberals.
yeah, Juan Williams is on there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was just softball questions to Biden, and there was several times where Chris Wallace, like he was like, Trump, you have to disavow white supremacy or something like that, like forcing him to say something.
Yeah.
He never did anything like that to Biden. He never said, well, will you do this? Will you do this? It was never, there was no pressure on Joe Biden.
And when he asked Trump about the, you know how Trump stopped that EVA program that they're teaching people in the classrooms and
Yeah, the critical race theory.
yeah,
and the,
so-called critical race.
1619 project, yeah.
He didn't seem to want to really call that what it was or what it is. The host did,
Right.
the moderator.
Yeah,
He kind of softened that.
yeah.
He didn't call
danced.
it
He kind of
an
danced
EVA,
around. And you know what else he didn't say? He didn't ask Joe Biden about defunding the police. Like, he didn't use those exact words. He danced around like BLM and Antifa and everything they're about.
Yeah.
But again, he never said anything to Joe Biden. I mean, he's representing the Democrats, the left, liberals, and
It's amazing how
skipped all that.
they can blatantly do that so openly, and while pretending that they're being fair, the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing to see that. I had no idea Chris Wallace was so liberal.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that liberal. I didn't know he was a Democrat.
Did you notice that, Joel?
Yeah, you definitely noticed that it was definitely a gang up, or at least an attempt jumping of President Trump. But also, Chris guy asked Joe Biden a couple questions that he didn't ask Trump. So I was confused on that. I was like, well, why don't you ask Trump that same question? Maybe he knew what Trump was going to say, but it definitely didn't seem fair.
It was interesting, too. So on October 11, 2006, the Washington Post reported that Wallace has been a registered Democrat for more than 2 decades. It's no wonder the president said earlier before the debate, earlier in the week or maybe last week, he hoped that Chris Wallace can be fair or something like that during the debate. Amazing.
That was cool that Trump called him out and said, well, I'm not surprised that I didn't know I was going to be debating you and not Joe. But I'm not surprised.
Right. That was a great moment.
It's amazing when you stand up. You have to stand up. You know, you by yourself.
Yeah, you versus everyone.
Yeah, it's amazing. So either you stand up or you don't. You can't pretend it.
No.
Amazing. Well, those are my experts, at least 2 of them, Joel and Chris. Hake and Nick will have their 2 cents in the next hour on the debate last night. Here is a couple sound bites from the debate last night. Some of you know the debate against Joe Biden, and this was held, the president debate and Joe Biden. This was held at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. And here's where Chris Wallace, while introducing the segment on race, repeated the host that the president called white supremacists very fine people. Watch this.
The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It is true. The reason I got in the race is when those people, close your eyes, remember what those people look like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, just spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides. No president has ever said anything like that.
It is whose
Now,
2
second-
minutes, sir.
Amazing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, just more. That's kind of the thing that I was referring to with he was. I mean, well, first of all, that's a lie. They left out the second part, but it's just.
What was the second part?
Trump originally said there was fine people on both sides. I don't know the exact quote, but he denounced any violence or I think he even denounced like white supremacy or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that again, it goes to show that first of all, the Charlottesville thing is old news. It happened 3 years ago. And
Right. They still talking about it as though it happened yesterday.
yeah, it's as if cities aren't on fire right now because of liberals and BLM and all that stuff. They just keep bringing up Charlottesville, and it's just old news, and it's irrelevant today.
And the president denounced so-called white supremacists anyway, and he denounced violence on both sides, but they leave out the whole story.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know what happened, you tend to believe, especially liberals, believe that lie.
Yeah, they keep bringing that up to keep it fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
And it's always an attempt, I noticed with Trump specifically, they always try to get him to bash on white people.
Yeah, they do.
Like any chance that they get, they're like, well, that's what I was saying. Like Trump, later on, they like make him try to at least like denounce white supremacy. And it's just, I mean, it's clearly just like a one-sided thing. They're against him.
It's amazing. That been so long, I forgot what Trump said. I mean, 3 years ago. Who remember 3 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
And these people are totally wicked. Here's where Wallace asked the president why he ended critical race theory in the federal government, making sure to call it racial sensitivity training. What a dumb thing. Watch this.
This month, your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody
what
else.
Is radical,
and he would know.
What is
it was
radical
totally
about
racist.
racial sensitivity training? Sir?
They were teaching people to hate our country, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
You know, how's it racial sensitivity? These people burning down statues and flags and destroying the country and telling all white people, you're just born racist. You have no other choice because you're white. You're racist. You are subhuman. What's sensitive about that?
Right. And well, I'm glad that Trump was able to clear that up, even though, and they were able to ask him that, and he was able to let them know that it's silly that they were going, that they're even saying that in the schools or even bringing that out. But it's just it's just a crazy thing. But only people with common sense are going to be able to see it. So Chris Wallace and Joe Biden, whoever was watching who believed that should be there is silly anyway.
Racial sensitivity training. What the? So, Chris, because you white, you're just subhuman racist.
Yep.
You can't help it.
Non-melanated skin.
We're going to have to get rid of Chris.
Ah, man. Lost another one.
And that's racial sensitivity.
Yeah, that is sensitive.
Amazing. I had no idea Wallace was like this. I guess I never listened to him anyway.
Yeah.
I never watched his show or anything, so
No.
I didn't know a lot about him. And when the president called him out, I guess a month ago, whenever he did it, I didn't know that that's what the president referred to because I didn't know anything about Wallace.
Yeah.
I just kind of thought he was somewhat conservative because he was on Fox.
Yeah, I didn't have high expectations for him or anything like that, but I didn't know he was a flat-out liberal.
Me, I'm stunned. Back in a moment, folks. So, talking about last night's debate between the president and Joe Biden, very, very interesting stuff. I noticed that Chris Wallace, the host of the debate, really didn't pressure Biden for real answers. He kind of softly asked a few things, but nothing really pressured. Here's where they talked about law and order and Wallace asked Biden if he supported Black Lives Matter, and here's Biden's response to that.
What does reimagining policing mean? And do you support the Black Lives Matter call for community control of policing?
They need more assistance. They need, when they show up for a 9/11 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down. And so we have to be engaged.
That's not what
in
they're talking about, Chris. That's not what they're talking. He's talking about defunding the police.
That is not true.
He doesn't have any law support.
Look,
he has no law enforcement
that's not
support.
true.
Almost
that's
nothing.
Look.
Oh, really? Who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you. Go ahead. Think. We have time.
We don't have time to do anything.
Think
All right.
about it.
Look,
Name
folks,
one law enforcement group that came out and supported
gentlemen,
you.
I think I'm going to take back the
There aren't.
moderator's
I don't
role,
think there are any.
and I want to get to another subject.
What a beta. Wow.
See, there it is. Chris Wallace running defense.
Yeah.
Running defense for Biden. He said, "Do you defend Black Lives Matter?" And he even, you could see how he stumbled to use a certain phrasing, and he didn't. I don't even. What did he say? Reimagining police or
Yeah,
something like that.
reimagine.
It's defund the police is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And he avoided it.
He didn't say, Chris didn't say defund the police.
Yeah.
Reimagine it. What, you reimagine that the police don't exist and don't have money? And what makes you want to cuss?
Seriously.
And the main thing I noticed is what Chris just said. Our Chris, not Chris.
I'm white Chris.
Right.
The real racist.
Right.
The born racist.
But you can see Chris Wallace is stumbling in his chair just to try to get the words out to not. It seems like not to offend, to say the wrong thing.
I know.
Yeah, super uncomfortable. But it's crazy. If you could, anybody with common sense would know that you. How's a cop gonna have a psychologist with him?
So you're gonna call the police? My wife beat me up. All right, I'll be there with a psychologist in a minute. What the?
We're gonna have a quick counseling session. Everyone sit down and relax.
And then the psychologist was going to be one of those lesbians or homosexual,
Yep.
or one of those low-life social worker people.
Yeah. Gonna try to convert you to become a homosexual.
Yeah. Would you like to be gay? You're gay. That's why.
That's why you're so angry.
What
That's
the?
the new police.
Reimagining. I got you reimagining.
Oh yeah.
Here's a shocking exchange where Wallace asked the president to condemn white supremacists, while Biden said Antifa is just an idea.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing
That's right.
extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared
to do that,
specifically
but
do it?
Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Say it.
You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to
supremacists.
condemn?
White
Proud Boys.
supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem.
His
This
own
is a left-wing.
FBI director
This
said
is a
the threat
left-wing
of
Go ahead,
problem.
white
Go ahead, sir.
supremacists. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you gotta be
not
kidding.
militia. That's what
Oh, really?
his
It's an idea.
FBI, FBI director
Gentlemen,
said.
Well, then you know what?
No,
He's
we're
wrong.
done. We're done, sir. We're moving on to the next.
Everybody
We're moving.
gives you
When a bat
advice
hits
in
you
your
over the head, that's
administration.
not an idea.
Everybody in
Antifa
your
is
administration
bad.
tells you the truth has a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no ideas.
Antifa is a dangerous
All right,
radical
gentlemen,
group.
we're now moving on to the Trump
And
and
you ought to be
Biden
careful with
records.
them. They'll overthrow you.
When
in
a
2
president,
seconds.
I'm going to ask a question.
What a beta host. So all that stuff burning and killing and robbing and carrying on in Kosovo, better know that Kenosha, was an idea.
Yep.
When these people show up in black hoods with knives and and killing people and fighting. That's an idea. That's not really happening.
That's just an idea. People are just imagining those things. That's not real. That's not real. That's all. It's all made up.
And what was crazy, well, what Biden was trying to say, it seemed like, is that Trump's FBI agent is the one who said that Antifa was an idea. And let's just say if that was the case, I like the fact that Trump in that moment denounced even the FBI agent and said, well, then that's wrong. You know? But it's like,
Christopher Wray, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He's an evil guy anyway.
Yep.
Why is he an FBI? He need to be in jail.
That's exactly right. And that goes to show you that like tons of people surrounding Trump, the majority of people surrounding Trump are not for him. The establishment is not for him. Chris Wray, he's the FBI director. Chad Wolf, the DHS secretary, he's not with Trump. And everyone around Trump is against him. It's the establishment versus the people and Trump.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
That's amazing. So, Joel, you just an idea over there. You're not really sitting there.
apparently.
He can burn this whole studio down. And it's just an idea. So, but me, I'm the one out there causing all the riots in Kenosha. Trump handled that exchange very well by reiterating that, first of all, it's not really white people out there burning and looting and stuff like that. But he said it's not a right-wing problem, it's a left-wing problem. And he kept driving that home.
I'm glad somebody said that out loud.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't normally hear people saying that,
Exactly.
especially white people.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you saw Chris Wallace again trying to run defense for Biden and just harping on Trump, like, you have to say this, you have to denounce, you have
Like,
to do
say
this.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Say it. And yeah, Trump handled the exchange extremely well, gave a great answer.
I was glad to see Trump standing up for the Proud Boys instead of going along and saying it, because it's Antifa the one that's evil.
Exactly. Yeah, that was also a great answer, because Trump has said that he'd prefer to have law enforcement handle it.
Yeah.
And since the Proud Boys are just a civilian organization, he simply said just stand down, guys. Didn't give that was all he needed to say, really, because they're not out there causing any problems. And again, he reiterated that we know who the problems. Who are causing all the problems? It's obvious.
And why do they want to label somebody a white supremacist so bad? they want to do it.
They want all white people to be that way, except Antifa.
And it's crazy because what they really want to do is separate, demonize a group of people.
Yeah.
Opposed to why does it have to be this white supremacy thing? You know what I mean? It's insane.
Amazing debate last night, folks. Interesting. Now the Democrats or some of the people are calling for it to be the last one. They don't want Biden back up there with the Great White Hope. But we'll see. There has to be at least one more. I think they signed up for 3, right? They agreed to 3?
3 presidential, and there's 1 vice president debate.
That's going to be interesting. I would love to see how, what's his name? The vice
Mike
president?
Pence.
Yeah, I thought they called him Prince.
Mike Prince.
I would love to see him deal with Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because she's going to try to embarrass him, walk all over him, the
Yeah.
way she did Joe Biden when they debated each other. Amazing stuff. So, James is telling me Kamala Harris is pronounced Camilla, whatever. No, Camilla is better. That's her real name. Is it Kristen? Kristen is the first-time caller out of San Antonio. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.